Hi everyone, welcome back for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery Volume 6, Part 4, and I must apologise for Part 3. I really was all over the place. This of course is a title page, not an index page. Don't know what, I have no idea what happened last time. I was just a mess. I've got a bit closer. I do have an idea for my concertina book, but I want to just get started on this next prompt because I think I'm already a week behind maybe with the trip up to Queensland. You may have already seen a video of the Brisbane trip. I think I'll put it up before this because there's a couple of things I want to touch on in this that I didn't touch on in that but were sort of following on from that. So here we go. I am going to stick with this page as the next double page for now. I think it's all right. I just had an idea of something I might end up doing for the whole piece, and if I do, it might change shape and size. So I'll do these two pages and then I'll have the title page and they'll all be about similar, so I'll just have to make sure down the track. And I shouldn't even really talk about it because I change my mind so often. I have got a couple of these, the bulbs from the tea towels from Spotlight, as I talked about in Thrifty Thursday. I've got a little bit of this from Susanna. I love the little ladybird. I know I've got bigger pieces from Susanna with birds and everything. You'll see it in the Thrifty Thursday, or you will have seen it in the Thrifty Thursday. This was one of the smaller pieces, the flower and the little ladybird, so I've got that to play with. I also remembered I'd asked Christine when she got a big stash of from Create and Craft with Christine. She'd got a lot of materials that had writing and stuff on, and I was interested to do a swap or to even buy them, but I ended up sending her some things. They're not quite exactly field notesy, but they kind of could work, I think. They've got numbers, so that's nice. They're more like a little ticket for the cinema or something like that, or a coupon. So I'm thinking some of those might come in handy. There was a little bit of text, so I'm just going to cut up a couple of bits and pieces, even though I wanted to really use them for junk journal covers. Well, this is the project that's on. So some of these little things, some little bits here I might be able to use if it's the right, if I'm going for that colourway. This was kind of like little buttons, and I thought they might be a nice little, just a little tiny addition. So thanks Christine, I ended up changing tack as I always do. I still may be able to use them for junk journal covers, and here's a green version of the blue one. So yeah, there's like little things here that could sort of look a little bit like they would work. Ledger paper, printed ledger paper. It may or may not work, but maybe some little bits could look like they might work. Bias crosshatch, that's very stitchy. We'll see. Anyway, let's get started. I've also got a spare bit of this that was part of the background, so I'm thinking that might come in handy. I also got it wrong that I thought maybe we were starting at summer and we're in winter, but we're actually starting in spring. So I don't know. Don't ask me what was going on last time. I've got no idea. No idea. Something I wanted to do with these before I know. I wanted to, so ended up with two hyacinths for some reason. I wanted to back them with a bit of stabilizer so they were easy to fussy cut, because I think as soon as I start to, you know, fussy cut them, I'm going to be trying to stitch down this edge that's a bit frayed, so I'm going to go and do that. Just trying to think. So spring bulbs is really one page, isn't it? These are quite large, so I might end up only doing one of them and saving one for another day or another panel. Let's just work out my composition first. So I think I'm going to separate the ladybird from the pansy. So cute. It does look like it's a sort of a top of the page kind of affair. There's a lot of type here, so that might be alright if that's covered a little bit. I will also put some stabilizer on the back of here, just so I can cut the edges down a bit finer. This is kind of already working on the background of page 2 if I do this. You just have to imagine that this is a bit smaller, more like that. I don't think maybe I'll save that for another day, and maybe I'll just put like a herb of some sort. The chamomile, it's quite large. Bay leaves, but I don't know what the next prompt is, so that might be too big. Perhaps I ought to save those, but I'll just stabilize all of those things. And where's one of these? This feels like a nice cotton. I'm hoping it's not a frayy type of cotton, although I don't mind some things fraying. It is a bit relatively fraying. It might be nice there. Now I'm not going to cut it all the way down, I'm just going to cut it a bit, because I will, as I say, put some stabilizer on the back. Now, I know Rachel did another video about what to do if you don't have these backing pages, which is great, because I remember 4 years ago when I started embroidery, I had no idea. I've had 4 years worth of building up, you know, stitch things such as threads and materials and stuff like that, to the point that I've probably got way too much now. But I like the fact that it meant that it reminded me that I had been thinking of doing like 2 pages of this and then 1 or 2 pages without those backgrounds, because maybe I'm a little bit of a hoarder and I don't want to use them all because they're special and precious. And also, you never know what happens. You never know when maybe there aren't any funds to get them. You never know. We do our best. I do want a bit of script. I mean, there is some down the side here, but this is yellow. This might be, that might be good to go on it, because it'll look almost like it was meant to be there. I don't know if I want to actually keep this here as a border. I'll start to move over to this page. I don't know that it matters for, well, let's have a look. I was going to say, I don't know that it matters for, yeah, see that's where the line would be. I could just as easily put this down here and it becomes you know, it's on the fold. So let's just put that there for now. So I can have a look how they are. So the other thing was, if anyone's watched the trip to Brisbane and seen the Iris van Herpen exhibition, I didn't show something that was in that exhibition, and it was the Ernst Haeckel, I think. I'll have to find my book and show. But a lot of it was based on his beautiful underwater drawings, and the textiles and the dresses and the designs were all kind of inspired by his beautiful drawings. And there was a cabinet that had one of his old printed books. I've got a reprint of the Sea Life, which is just beautiful, and it gets away a bit from field notes, but I do almost think that field notes could be an ocean theme as well. Oh, well, that's what Corinne's doing, so that's Karina's doing that, so yeah, that's not too far from the truth on that one. But I particularly love the drawings. They're just gorgeous, really well drawn. Let me move these so I'm not confused by how many things there are. Certainly don't want that over the top of the spring bulb. Alright, I've cut that and I don't need it. Too big. I love a hyacinth. I'm wondering if I might end up here. Just going to pencil. Having something like spring bulbs. So I've actually got what the prompt is. I like that. I did it in pencil because it could actually be a bit bigger, I think. Spring bulbs. That's not the permanent thing. I was just kind of getting the size and the shape. So the trip to Brisbane, yes, I will upload this video after all the things that I put up this week. I'll upload it at the end of the week, I think, because Lily and her friend are today, they're getting the truck soon, in a minute. They're getting the truck, and then they will start to try and pack it up. So there's two of them. She had more than half the truck worth, and he decided he did want to bring his motorbike and wanted it in the truck. So between the two of them, they've probably needed 2 trucks. So today they'll be having a really mad pack and trying to work out what on earth is going on. I don't envy them, and you know, when you watch them doing this stuff and they're young and you think they're strong and they can do it, but you also think, oh, that's so much to do. You know, she had to move out of her house, so she had to put her stuff in storage. She had to keep going backwards and forwards and getting people to help, and she was supposed to be done by the time I got there, but then she hadn't finished packing in the house, so I had to go and pack her kitchen stuff up, which we agree isn't something I should really be doing, but I did my best. I tried to help. as best I could. It's not the easiest thing for me to do. So yes, I am in a bit of pain today because I have some sort of, my inflammatory markers have been up for quite a while, so I'm not really meant to do, sorry, I'm looking for my, there it is, there it is. Anyway, I did the best I could to help, but she was so stressed, and I think I was just a bit annoying. So we got through the graduation ceremony, thank goodness. She was really relieved because then she could go back to focusing on her packing. But yeah, it was a lot. It always takes longer. I hope my hand's not in the way. It always takes longer. There's always more storage needed in the truck. And who knows? So she's either selling her car today, and they're just going to fit what they can fit in the truck, and bad luck if there's anything left over. They might just have to stay on the side of the road. And then basically they have to finish it all, everything they're doing, they have to finish today because they need to leave first thing in the morning, tomorrow morning, to get to Sydney for tomorrow night, which is a 9-hour drive. But if they're still packing stuff in the morning, it means a 9-hour later night drive, which is difficult because, you know, they're driving a truck. They've never driven a truck before. What colour am I doing this? I think it should be a spring colour. Right, that hyacinth is nice and blue. Oh, this is one of my favourite colours. Blues, I don't associate blue with spring really, but that will match, won't it? Yeah, and then this is, so I'm filming this on Monday. I'm doing a lot of videos today and uploading them in some sort of order. This will be the last one, I think, that I'm videoing and editing and uploading. So I'm free when they come down. So they should arrive tomorrow. No, so they leave tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, stay in Sydney overnight. Hopefully they get there in time to do that. Then Wednesday they are aiming to be here. I think I said it already. I think that originally they wanted to be able to be here by 5 p.m. so they could sign the paperwork, but I think the reality is they'll probably end up getting here relatively late on the Wednesday and have to go at 8 a.m. to you know, sign the paperwork for a storage unit and to unload the truck. So they're going to stay at my house on Wednesday night, which means it doesn't matter if they get there at midnight. I'll just go and stay up in the spare room upstairs with Nora. She'll be in the other room. And then if they get here late, they're free. They can sleep in if they want to. And then my other daughter is leaving that day for overseas. So we'll see how we go. They might end up getting to my other daughter's place quite late. Oh, it's just, you just feel for them, don't you? You think, oh, it's just awful, the amount of time and stress and physical activity. And it's good that there's two of them and they're doing it together, because it means there's someone else driving, which means that even though it's a 9-hour drive, they're not going to be super tired because they can split, you know, 2 hours each or an hour each, hour on, hour off, and have a rest, and that will make it not as tiring, which I'm a bit happy about. And then they're here. And I'll tell you what, I got off that plane. I'm going to tell you, I got off that plane at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, yesterday morning, and it was 6 degrees, and I'd just come from Queensland being 20, 22, 23, and I thought, why does anyone live in Melbourne? It was so cold, and I'm still cold. I'm still cold now. It was terrible. It was like, well, I didn't plan to go to the Arctic. It was so cold. Oh, it's and I sent a message to Hassan. I said, I totally now understand why I used to have neighbours that were older, like maybe they were in their 60s or 60, 70s or something, which, you know, I'm their age now. But back then I used to think, oh, they're lucky going to Queensland every winter, but they just, and now I know. I would do it too. That's it. The plan should be every winter. Start of winter to the end of winter. Oh, that stitch wasn't long enough. The start to the end of winter, go to Queensland for 3 months. That's the idea. They had a caravan, the people next door. I don't know if I've said this story before. But anyway, just waffling on, filling in the stitch time. So it's been a bit full on with the trip to Sydney and then the trip to Queensland. And I feel a bit tired. I do feel a bit tired. Oh, it was one too many. Too early. Need to take that one out because that was too short. That one. That's the one. But I'm proud of both my girls. You know, they really. Liz has worked really hard for, you know, she just went straight through from school right through to do her masters. High school, she hasn't had a break, so she deserves this little holiday to Paris and Florence. And Lily has moved up to Queensland, back again, up to Queensland, back again. So she's moved a lot, but it's not just you know, it's international, or not international, it's domestic. Like, she's moved a lot and it's domestic moving, but it's still, she does have a house worth of stuff, like, or an apartment worth of stuff. And you know, you'd think, oh, she should just left it all in storage down here. But she thought she might have ended up staying up there. But no, she's back. Anyway, I was just watching her. She just does it. She just throws herself into it, lifting all the boxes, packing everything, carload after carload to the storage unit. Today, getting the truck, you know, all of the stuff, and she's just doing it all herself. Ollie will be helping, and Ollie's mum and dad have arrived today. They're here to help a bit, and they've offered to bring some stuff down if he you know, if they can't fit some stuff in the truck. They're saying they might come down to Melbourne a bit later in the year and bring some things down on a trailer. But you know, they're like me and the girls' dad. We're getting old. We can't really manage to do all of that stuff. It's hard. Unfortunately, like, I do want to help. I was just sad I couldn't help more. But there you go. There's a point where you have to go, sorry, that's it, finished, can't do any more. Okay, spring bulbs. But all in all, it was a very nice trip. Wasn't long enough, but there was a lot of Ubering, so it was probably financially long enough, getting around places. Just wanted to try and, if I could, make things a bit easier for her. I think I did. It's not too bad. I've been doing French knots for the dots, and I think actually I have been thinking they're a little bit big, so I didn't do one this time. So anyway, there you go. That's my story for this last week. No excuses for all the mistakes in the last video. I tell you what, the excuse is having the brain of a gnat. That's the memory of a gnat. And watching things and not entirely taking everything in. So I did miss a few things, and now I'm back and I'm going to focus on this project. It's nearly the end of July, so the postcards in July and the junk journal July would also be finished soon, so I'm not being distracted. Oh, I got a new jelly plate. So I found I'm going to do quite a bit of jelly printing now. It's like got the little studio sorted. This wool is a bit thicker. I was watching Kerry Griffiths, who you can find on YouTube, because you probably only need to just get the hashtag. I haven't put any of the postcards in on my YouTube, but they are on my Instagram. Anyway, hashtag jelly, G-L-Y, July, postcard play, I think it is. And I've just been having fun with the postcards and the jelly printing, but I have a real favourite artist that I watch. It's Narb Makes, K-N-A-R-B, in case I know a lot of you stitchers probably aren't interested in jelly printing, but he's an artist, and he explores the more graffiti style, which is what I used to do, what my love is, or what it was. I don't know if it is anymore, I've changed. And he was trying out, I think Kerry was trying them out too, they're called Gel Elf. Jelly plates which are cheaper than the brand, the jelly plate brand, which had the monopoly on the market basically, so could charge what they liked. So I got a A3, I think for $90, which, you know, in the other markets that one would probably be $150 or something. So I've got a really big one to have a play with, which is exciting, very excited. All right, spring bulbs. Shall I do a bit of, I might do a bit of green. All right. Oh, spring, that's a spring green. I don't know if it matches. That might be a little too, it's got to blend in a bit with that, but not be too light that it's sort of not seen. No, that's too shiny, kind of like that. But what's this one like? It's a bit yellow, isn't it? I think these ones are a bit too dark. Put this over here. Oh, now I've got to make a decision. Come on. I think this goes with that. I think that is a bit brighter. I think this is a bit too much. This is a bit brighter from over there, but we do want something that kind of stands out a bit. How's that? That one or that one? I think that's going to blend in more with that. So okay, that's, I'm not sure that's my final. The Ort jar. I feel like I just had a coffee. I just started waffling on and didn't stop. How many threads? 2. Oh, it'll do. Does anyone remember when Lily and I were in Sydney and we went to the grounds of Alexandra, which had cold pressed, slow pressed, all these fancy names for coffee, and it was the worst coffee we'd ever had in our entire life. I had a decaf and Lily had a normal coffee, and neither of us could drink them. They were just so bad. Well, unbeknownst to us, who would have thought, because Melbourne's known as the coffee place, but in Brisbane at the art gallery, we'd had a bit of a light breakfast, but when we were at the art gallery we thought, no, this is the last time for Lily in Brisbane, and before we go through the art gallery we'll have a cake and a coffee, or I didn't even take a photo, it doesn't matter, everyone's probably sick of the photos by now. I had a cherry Danish, a dark cherry Danish, and oh my goodness, how good was it? And then I decided I'm going to have a decaf. I'm going to have a decaf. I know it was ruined when I was in Sydney, and I don't have one very often, but we were both really tired. So we thought, no, let's risk it again. And I have to say, I said to Lily, I think that was the best coffee I've ever had. So the worst one in my life was in Sydney, and one of the best was at the art gallery in Queensland. So there you go. Different baristas. Ones that know how to make coffee and ones that don't. Anyway, it was a decaf, so it was all right. I was going to say it didn't keep me up at night, but actually that night, after having a piece of Lily's super garlic pizza, I hope you watched the Brisbane trip, so you know you've got pictures to add in your brain to what I'm talking about. It makes me quite warm having a lot of garlic, and I don't always sleep very well, but it's also fructose, which I'm supposed to be off, but I've been having maybe a bit more garlic than I should have, because in Melbourne it keeps you warm, so it's nice, and it's good for your immunity. Is it good for your immunity if you are fructose intolerant and you can't absorb it? That's a good question. Anyway, we went to bed early because she was going to drive me to the airport at 5:30. I mean, we knew that she might not make it if she was too tired, because yes, she had a big day with her graduation and has been packing up a house and in the middle of moving. She didn't have to, but I just thought if it's going to cost me $40 in an Uber, I'd rather give her the money. So it was a way of offering her a bit of money without it, without her having to ask, if you know what I mean. But we went and had an early night, but of course I woke at midnight, 12:30 a.m, and thought, that's great. Isn't that great? Because usually when I wake at 12:30, or my normal insomnia pattern is that I don't go back to sleep till maybe 3:30 or 4. So by 4 I was still lying there, getting up, going to the toilet, getting back to bed, lying there staring at the ceiling. By 4:30 I thought, I can't go back to sleep now because I would be at risk of sleeping in. So I just got up and started getting ready, and then she just said, Mum, I can't, I've got to get a bit more sleep. So I went off in the Uber. All the Ubers have been taking like 2 minutes to come, but at 5:30 in the morning he took 9 minutes to come, and I thought, I should have just got up at 3 and just gone. But anyway, we made it just in time. I basically walked in, put my bag in, and walked straight in, and had a 5 or 10 minute wait to board. Perfect timing. But I tell you what, it was at 4 o'clock when I could have gone, it was $40. I looked about 10 minutes later because I thought, I should keep an eye on it, And once Lily said she wasn't taking me, I had to keep a bit more of an eye on it. 10 minutes later, it was $60, and I went, oh no, oh no, I've really messed that up. And so then I waited till a relatively late-ish time, but safe, and it went down to $38. So I booked that one and made it just in time. But she didn't go back to sleep, and she said she had a terrible headache after all that. So what a time in her life, honestly, what a time. I haven't heard from her today. Oh, is that L and B far enough apart? They do look a bit different once you start to iron them, actually. Okay. I've got no idea how long this video is now. I think I'm going to come back after. Are we getting another prompt this week? Oh, I hope not. Oh no, I think I'm just confused because Rachel did the extra video. If this is the second week of bulbs, then I'm happy about that, because I'm sort of doing, I think what I'm going to do is put this up maybe on Friday after Thrifty Thursday, and then I might do a supplementary one on Monday or something, a quick one, now that I don't have to go gallivanting around the countryside. No more trips for me until December for the Roxy Girls workshop. I think I've got a knuckle under now. Huss and I were starting to talk about going overseas at the end of next year. I'd like to go and visit Juanette. He's got relatives in Minnesota, and there we go. There is required a bit of saving. Right. Okay, that's that. So I did say I don't know how long this video is. I was going to go and do all these, but I think I can stitch that down, that one thing. I just used, this is the Shishiko thread I got when I did the rice bag workshop, Bikuro. So I think I might just get this one down. So that's ready to go for the next prompt. Yeah, so even though I'm back and I'm thinking, oh, thank God there's nothing on, actually, when they arrive, they're staying at my place for the night, so I've kind of got to move some stuff upstairs that I'll need to have through the night, and I know it's only one night. It's not, you know, it's not too bad. It's not like a major move. And then we'll wait and see. Lily had applied for many jobs, and she still, we thought she had the assistant job at Sheridan down here at Doncaster, possibly, but they just sent her an email saying that there's a 4-week turnaround if you move interstate from one Sheridan shop to another. So there's a possibility that she might have to wait for her work, and she really needed to start within a few days. I know that it's financially she needs to start in a few days, but I also think you've just graduated, you've moved house twice, you've moved interstate. It's all right to actually, you know, at least have a week of rest, or a fair bit of rest, because it's a bit much. We'll see how we go. That'll be good. It'd be nice. It was nice to hang out and be there, even though she was really so busy. Okay. I'm going to say that this is finished for this week, just because I've already made about 4 videos today and have to keep up with the Junk Journal July and the postcard jelly postcard play. July postcard play. There we go. Okay. There we go. Anyway, I'll catch up soon. That's that. And all right, well, I'm going to say thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.